going to keep going. What I'll have done is split this into 4 episodes, roughly like the chapters. They look a tent. Just listening out for the doorbell, but I haven't heard it yet. Okay, so out we go. Look at that moon, it's fantastic.
I wish I could have known Donnelly in this place. We would have had so much to debate. Did he paint these stones or did I? Who left the pots in the hut by the jetty? Who formed the museum under the sea? Who fell silently to his death into the frozen waters? Who erected this godforsaken aerial in the first place? Did this whole island rise to the surface of my stomach, forcing the gulls to take flight?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. Somebody went around leaving candles everywhere. I mean, look at that down there. I think we will go down there, actually. Oh, God. A controller rumble, then. Anything down here? Just a candle. Okay. But it's night time since we were underneath the cliffs for so long. And then we have to go up there. That moon is amazing though, isn't it? Wow. If I did hear the door, let's just leave it off a bit. I don't think I would hear it. These headphones are pretty
Dear Esther,
good.
I find each step harder and heavier. I drag Donnelly's corpse on my back across these rocks, and all I hear are his whispers of guilt, his reminders, his burnt letters, his neatly folded clothes. He tells me I was not drunk at all.
Oh. So, it was a drunk driver, but it wasn't necessarily Donnelly. And they're both on the island, but Donnelly is dead. So it was Donnelly who died first. What's this? The hell? Somebody's been doing something. That's a defibrillator. Performs a surgery. It's weird, I didn't notice that last time. I'm gonna put this back on. If the postie comes and I'm not there to get it, I'll just have to go down to the post office and get it. It's fine. It's not fine, it's inconvenient, but no, recordings have to be made. Okay. The music has stopped. Okay, what's this here? There's a picture of something. If you could interact with these things, but I don't think you can. Very odd. Right, I must remember before I edit this, I did do a few audio checks, but before I edit this I'm going to have to check that the audio is right. If it's not, I'm going to have to do it the 3rd time. What a waste. No. Some bits of knackered vehicle. With some candles around them. Who goes around lighting all these candles? And why haven't they burnt out? That is the question. Well, at least
There
we
were
know which way
chemical
to
stains
go.
on the tarmac, the leak of air conditioning, brake fluid and petrol. He kept sniffing at his fingers as he sat by the roadside, waiting as if he couldn't quite understand or recognize their smell. He said he'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter. He'd stopped for farewell drinks earlier, but had kept a careful eye on his intake. You could hear the sirens above the idling traffic.
Well, definitely a car crash. Some question as to whether any of the parties were drunk or not. They'd certainly been drinking. So I think
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
well, there was some in that cave as well. So yeah, what happened was, I guess, Esther was killed in the car accident. Automobile collision. Because accident implies that there was nobody to blame. On a sudden light from heaven gone around him and then it's time to go. Right, okay. And then this guy's come here for some reason, like some sort of pilgrimage. And probably ended his life. Which is a bit depressing. But I don't know who we are. I don't think we are anyone in particular. We're just sort of trying to piece together the story. Because a story lives on by it being told. And the retelling of said story. I'm trying to be profound, but it probably came across as sounding a bit stupid. But yeah. Stories die when they're not told anymore, I guess. Anyway, this didn't actually happen.
A sound
It's not
of
real.
torn metal, teeth running over the edge of the rocks, a moon that casts a signal as I lay pinned beside you, the ticking of the cooling engine, and the calling from a great height, all my mind as a bypass.
Bypass, motorway, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's very heavily themed about this traffic accident, so collision. So this is why he's here, I guess. That looks like a person. I noticed that last time, but when I finally got up there, it wasn't. Right, okay, we've seen something that looks like a person. It could have been a cross. Oh, there's that weird noise again. In the wind.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fibre, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates,
Well,
we will intermingle.
there was
When
something
this
up
paper
here.
aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
Oh. There was something up here. There was definitely someone. And then he was proceeding on his journey. Right, I thought I heard the door, but I'm not. I probably am. I might not be getting my post today. I don't know. Okay, so that was weird, wasn't it, right? Yeah. Bit strange. There's a man on top of the cliff. And something there for Panda come. So, is that meant to be wind? 'Cause it sounds like somebody's singing. It's freaky.
If only Donnelly had experienced this. he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
Donnelly, I thought that was Jakobsen. Maybe it wasn't drink driving. Maybe he was brain damaged by his disease. Guess we'll never know.
There are headlights reflected in these retinas. Too long in the tunnels of my island without a bottom. The sea creatures have risen to the surface, but the gulls are not here to carry them back to their nests. I've become fixed, open and staring, an eye turned on itself. I've become an infected leg whose tracking lines form a perfect map of the junctions of the M5. I will take the exit at mid-thigh and plummet to my Esther.
Okay, so he's going slightly nuts. And Esther is dead. So we're not Esther. He wants to go and meet back up with Esther, who I guess was his love. And he's happened to come here to try and maybe deal with everything. I don't know. He's come to this radio tower or whatever it is to end it. To end it all. There's a no trespassing sign before, I don't know if you noticed.
Blind with panic, deaf with the roar of the caged traffic, heart stopped on the road to Damascus, Paul sat at the roadside hunched up like a gull, like a bloody gull. As useless and as doomed as a syphilitic cartographer, a dying goat herd, an infected leg, a kidney stone, blocking the traffic bound for Sanford and Exeter. He was not drunk, Esther, he was not drunk at all. All his roads and his tunnels and his paths led inevitably to this moment of impact. This is not a recorded natural condition. He should not be sat there with his chemicals and his circuit diagrams. He should not be sat there at all.
Chemicals and circuit diagrams. That's what all the pictures were. But he wasn't drunk. So was he distracted, or was he suffering brain damage? I don't know. Just trying to piece together the mysteries in my mind. So I think we're very near the end now. This is the final chapter.
I have run out of places to climb. I will abandon this body and take to the air.
Well, there we go. That's what happened then.
Dear Esther, I have burned the cliffs of Damascus. I have drunk deep of it. My heart is my leg, and a black line etched on the paper all along this boat without a bottom. You are all the world like a nest to me. Eggs unbroken form like fossils, come together, send small black flowers to the air. From this infection, hope. From this island, flight. From this grief, love.
Well, it sounds like he did end it all. Because he couldn't deal with the grief. Also, if the other driver wasn't drunk, maybe he was to blame. This guy. Who knows? Maybe we were reminiscing with him. Ah, Damascus, I get it. Oh, the cliffs and the railway. He's not falling very fast, though. Or very downwards. He's falling outwards. We're a bird! Yay! Well, I mean, maybe I've got it wrong. Got a few bits of that story wrong, but I've really enjoyed that. This game is available on Steam if you do want to play it. It's very, well, I don't know. You've practically played it with me, I guess. But if you wanted to have a bit of a sprot round, maybe you'll discover some stuff that I didn't. Like there was that audio bit with that boy bobbing away in the ocean. For some reason it didn't come up this time, but never mind. I'm sure there's more mysteries to solve as well, so if you know more about it, drop it in the comments. There's the boats again. It's definitely a bird. What's causing that shadow though? Because the moon's over there. Weird. And there's the last boat.
Come back.
Come back. Come back. Right. Well, as far as I can tell now, that's the end of the game. We just listened to some more sea in the background, and it's all very dark, and I can't turn around or seem to do anything. So, thank you very much for watching, dear Esther. Remember to leave a like if you've enjoyed the videos, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll catch you in a different video. Goodbye!